From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Your weekend weather update is made possible by Caltrans District 2.
Well, good morning, everyone. For those of you who haven't really been impacted by the storm a whole lot of you asking the question, where is the storm? Well, it's in Quincy, over a foot of snow. Thank you, Lori Fisher, for sending in this image. You kind of notice off the railing here, kind of interesting. I'm not exactly sure why that happened. Maybe the winds, but you can see this snow right here kind of hanging off the railing there. Kind of interesting, but that's out in Quincy. Thank you, Lori, for sending in that image. This is out in Castle. This is sent to us by Brian Houston. That's kind of cool. What a kind of picturesque shot there. Beautiful out there, the sun kind of peeking through the clouds with the blue skies kind of filtering through those trees there. And not a ton of snow, obviously. You know, we didn't really see a ton of snow out towards the north into places like even Mount Shasta either, but hopefully you might get a little bit more snow out there in the next couple of days here. Take a look at Hayfork. You know, I got a report from a couple of people saying that it was just kind of snowing all day, really, in Hayfork yesterday. So Katrina Taylor, thank you. Now, just kind of north of Hayfork, it depends on where you are in Hayfork. You know, I've seen that there are those little microclimates even within Hayfork where you might see snow just a little bit outside of town, but then you go in town and it might be raining. So it just kind of depends on where you are in Hayfork. But where Katrina is, boy, a lot of snow there, that is for sure. If you want to send your photos and want to share them, you can, of course, do that through the app. Just go to the App Store on your Android or your iPhone device, tap, search for Weather NorCal, tap download or tap install, and now you've got the app and you can share those photos. I certainly appreciate those, and everyone else does too, because we can all see what's going on around us. Continued chance for showers, even some thunderstorms on the coast and even in the valley, often on flurries above 1,000 feet. So snow level is still quite low. Still not out of the question. We saw a little bit yesterday out in North and West Reading. I did see, I was out and about with my wife actually, and we going back out to the car, we're dealing with a little bit kind of that mix out there. So certainly kind of interesting. We certainly are not out of the, it's not out of the question for us to maybe see a little bit of that again this morning as well. Another round of rain, snow, and wind coming again Monday, Tuesday. But it does look like we finally have some drier and slightly warmer weather by the middle to latter part of next week. Here's your planner for today. Those temperatures are going to be on the cool side, but got a chance for showers, maybe some thunderstorms in the valley, Siskiyou, Modoc County, Eastern Mountains. You're going to be looking at snow flurries throughout the day today. Not to mention the coast, looking at a chance for thunderstorms. Inland, a bit of a mix depending on your elevation, and Trinity County, looks like you're going to be looking at those snow flurries out there today as well. So there you can see the trough of low pressure, the colder air with those speckled clouds. That is continuing to shift eastward as the storm system itself has been slowly shifting eastward. Looking at Futurecast, snow levels today will be around 1,000 feet. They may rise a little bit as we go through the afternoon, but if you look at 8 o'clock this morning, there may be around the Reading area a bit of a mix and maybe even some light accumulation in some areas in northwest Reading, maybe even around the city of Shasta Lake. But honestly, I'm not too optimistic that that's going to happen. Then you can see as we go into the noon hour, showers, maybe some thunderstorms developing here this afternoon, not to mention along the coast, but there are those snow flurries off into the higher elevations. Chain requirements are something we'll be dealing with here once again this morning and afternoon. By 5 p.m. today, we're seeing it become a little less widespread, not as much activity in the valley at this point, and it's getting even less widespread. Things are kind of quieting down by tonight before we see that next round of rain coming in Monday and even into Tuesday of next week. Take a look at the road conditions, and one thing I want you to always remember when you're looking at this forecast map is it's always important to go to quickmap.dot.ca.gov to check the latest road conditions if you are planning on traveling. But this morning's snow is most likely going to be on Highway 299, not to mention near I-5 north of Reading. But then you'll notice as we go to around the noon hour, we're seeing more green green on the map, which indicates, yes, we're seeing another slight increase in those snow levels, maybe around 1,000, between 1,000 and 2,000 feet. So conditions may improve on those mountain highways briefly, but then some colder air settles back in, and we're going to be looking at those snow levels dropping again as we go into this evening and into tonight. You can see more snow back on Highway 299, and not to mention on I-5 as well. As I mentioned, be sure to take those latest road conditions if you do need to travel. Here's your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. You are going to be looking at, of course, snow levels slowly rising as we go through the next several days. I still have a chance for showers on Wednesday. That's kind of the transition between the cooler and wetter pattern to a drier pattern coming toward the end of the week. Temperatures today will be in the mid to upper 40s along the coast, 48 degrees for Smith River, 43 degrees for Hoopa. Out towards Siskiyou County, you've got those temperatures in the mid 30s for your daytime highs. Winds not too terribly strong from the south-southeast at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. That's also the case in Modoc County coming in from the south-southwest. Temperatures there should be in the low 30s. And your eastern mountains neighborhood forecast, looking at your temperatures in the mid, see even some upper 30s in there. Paradise, for example, about 42, but obviously cooler as you start heading into some of those higher elevations. Here's your valley neighborhood forecast, and brought to you by Haas Farms with those temperatures in the low to mid 50s. Maybe an isolated thunderstorm today, otherwise maybe even a bit of a mix as you start heading northward towards, say, the Redding area, city of Shasta Lake. Whiskeytown about 44 degrees. There it is, the dry weather for Thursday and Friday, and you'll see that a little bit more clearly on that 7-day forecast for Redding. As I mentioned, as we go Tuesday into Wednesday, that's that transition between, well, really Wednesday into Thursday, it's a transition between the wet and drier weather. And then we dry things out entirely by Thursday, Friday, and then by Saturday, we of course have those showers. Now, of course, if you want to stick around for our deep dive forecast, here you go. You get a little bit more detail to that forecast, and we're going to zoom in on Redding, by the way, and take a closer look at that potential for some of that snow, especially this morning. But there you can see again that area, the satellite image here. There's that trough of low pressure, colder air. This, by the way, is the same storm system that moved in on Thursday. This trough, this area of low pressure, it's all just been here, slowly pushing eastward. So the cold front is way off to our east. That's what moved through on Thursday, and then behind it is all of this that's been slowly shifting eastward. And eventually the pattern is going to shift to a drier pattern. Let's show you that here and talk about those cooler temperatures. There's an area of low pressure right here. Here you can see, of course, the colder air. Now, this colder air is not going to be as deep as we go into the next few days. You see how it's kind of migrating northward. So temperatures are moderating and getting a little bit warmer as a result, and also as a result, those snow levels are going to start to climb. Now, I still think around 1,000 feet tomorrow morning. But then going through the day on Monday, those snow levels start to climb. And we still have these disturbances kind of getting within the flow, and we're within that, still keeping that chance for showers in there. Look at this. As we go into your Tuesday, we actually do have a weak disturbance that is going to give us not only some gusty winds, but the potential for more showers once again going into your Tuesday. You see that right there? Tuesday night into Wednesday, you've got this little disturbance right here. We call it an inside slider. This will keep the winds up a little bit and continue a slight chance for showers for some of us. But now as we go into Thursday, Friday, you've got this ridge of high pressure, warmer air building in from the south, and that's going to allow our temperatures to increase for your Thursday, Friday. But then this pocket of cold air here, this is going to be moving in closer to us over the next weekend and give us maybe a chance for some more rain. Yeah, so some more rain in the forecast in the long range. But there you can see still those cool temperatures keeping it most likely below normal as we go into the long range here. This is kind of interesting. As the Storm Prediction Center puts out these maps for Sunday, it didn't have, even yesterday, it didn't have any of the thunderstorm chances anywhere in this green except for Del Norte and Humboldt County. And if you recall, over the last few days, I've been saying it's still a chance for thunderstorms on Sunday. And now, of course, the Storm Prediction Center latest latest release of this is now, of course, including that chance for thunderstorms in the valley, and of course heading northwestward as well. So kind of interesting when we take a look at that, but take a look at Futurecast. We're going to get in a bit more detail than we did here in that shorter forecast, but here you can see around 1,000 feet with those snow levels. There's that chance for thunderstorms I was talking about by around the noon hour, not to mention out along the coast. Snow flurries in the higher elevations. Now, for the most part, for most of you, it's going to be off and on snow flurries throughout the day today. This is also what's going to create bad road conditions out there. Again, it's one of those situations where you're driving, it's fine, then suddenly it's snowing, and then you're out of the snow again. But there you can see, of course, it looks like it starts to get a little less widespread as we go into this evening around 6 p.m. Still a chance for some of those showers, maybe some thunderstorms along the coast, but notice we're not seeing as much activity in the valley. In fact, the valley may even start to see some clearing as we go through the afternoon today. Some clouds begin to roll back in here by tomorrow morning. There you can see some snow off to the north-northwest. Still not a lot of rain at this point, but then you can see it really starts to kind of ramp up as we go into the mid to late morning hours on Monday and even into the noon hour. There's more snow down to about 1,500 to 2,500 feet. So again, not quite as low as we're dealing with now. You saw that colder air is kind of migrating a little bit more to the north and some warmer air is beginning to move in. But there's the rain along the coast. Still not a lot of rain for the valley eastward by noon, but then going through the afternoon, of course, the rain begins to kick in. But you'll notice we have a bit of shadowing going on for parts of the valley, which means we may not see as much rain in some of those areas, but then as it kind of goes back up those mountains, we see it kind of squeeze out that moisture again, and you've got more of that snow, again around 1,500 to 2,500 feet. But then as we go into your Tuesday morning, again, that system off to our north and west, and there's also another one down to our south. That's all going to combine and give us a chance. But again, we're seeing a little bit of shadowing once again for parts of the valley. Heavier rainfall out towards Trinity County, and we're seeing more rain than snow. So this is why I've included snow levels up to about 2,500 to even 3,500 feet, depending on where you are, but still some of that snow in the higher elevations. Then finally, behind all of that, things should start to kind of clear out a little bit. All right, let's take a look at the valley, and we're going to mainly just kind of focus on this morning. There you can see 8 o'clock. You might see a bit of a mix for the city of Shasta Lake, Redding, and Anderson. At this point, I'm not too optimistic that we'll see any accumulating snow, but time will tell. The thing is, sometimes it doesn't happen and we don't know it's going to happen until it's actually happening. That's how the snow works around here a lot of times, but we can at least take a look at all the projections and see what's going on. Notice the winds are coming from the south. That's a key factor. We'll just have to keep watching that temperature here throughout the morning hours. If it drops through the morning, and that would be indicative of a north wind, but if it does drop through the morning as we go, even as the sun rises, then yes, as these systems kind of push through, then there's a better chance for some of those snowflakes. But if we're not really seeing much of an increase in that temperature, then the chances are kind of off at that point. Then by the time we get in the noon hour, there's of course that chance for thunderstorms. I'm not expecting any more snow down to the valley at that point, or at least any chances. And then Monday, there was some indication that it'd be pretty close as we go into Monday morning. Now it looks like it's all going to be to the northwest of the valley. So I don't think there are going to be any chances for snow in the valley for your Monday. Slim chance in the morning, but again, we'll kind of have to wait and see at that point. But there you can see, this is just kind of showing some of the shadowing that we're seeing in the valley, just not seeing a ton of that rain here. But as you go on the east, north, and west side of the valley, you tend to see a little bit more north and east side, that is. You can see around, almost 3/4 of an inch out in Redding and over 3/4 of an inch out in Chico, for example. But of course, a lot more rain is expected out along the coast. Now, on top of what we've already seen, we do expect to see some more snow out there. And, is it overdoing it for Mount Shasta and Dunsmuir? Most likely. We didn't really get to see a lot of snow out of this system here. There may be a little bit more coming out of this one, though. So we'll see. But for now, it looks like more of that snow will actually be to the north and west. Not as much of that snow heading off to the east of the valley. So winter storm impacts as far as travel is concerned. A lot of yellows and oranges indicating minor to moderate. So today, going into tomorrow, we're seeing a little less coverage of that yellow and orange, but still, bottom line, you need to keep a close eye on those road conditions because we're still going to be looking at that snow in some of those lower elevations today, tomorrow, and even into Tuesday. And then eventually we start to see things improve as we go into the middle of the week. The winds will continue to be a bit of a factor for some of us. It's not that bad today or even tonight, but you can see as we go into Monday, those winds do start to pick up as the storm system approaches. You can see it's pretty gusty in the morning on Monday for the coast. Eventually, winds pushing eastward. Even the valley seeing those gusts upwards of around 30 miles per hour on Monday. And then going into Tuesday, yeah, remember I was talking about that slider coming in from the north and east? That tends to give us some pretty gusty winds, especially out towards the eastern mountains and parts of the valley. You'll see it's not as bad here along the coast here for your Tuesday. Taking a look at your long range now. Of course, we go into Tuesday, we're still seeing the rain and we're still seeing some of that snow in the higher elevations. Now, Wednesday, you see this system that kind of passed on through? That is going to be that chance for showers on Wednesday before we see that high pressure build in for Thursday, Friday, and then better chances for showers once again by next weekend. And then maybe another one at least approaching on Sunday. Should be here maybe that next Sunday night into Monday. But that's a long ways out. The timing and intensity of that storm will most likely change. But for now, at least we can look forward to some drier and warmer weather for the end of next week. And really even as early as Wednesday for some of us. But we still have a chance for rain in the long range looking at March 9th through the 13th. Most likely looking at above normal rainfall. Here's your wave heights. And there you can see, of course, we're looking at those wave heights still fairly high, but you'll notice as we do go into your Monday, we are starting to see those wave heights begin to drop. So if you look at the marine forecast, we do have that small craft advisory through today, but that will most likely expire later tonight. But there you can see the winds from the southwest at about 5 to 15 knots. All right, let's take a look at your forecast for today. And again, we took a look at that fly through earlier. It's kind of just a general idea of what we can expect temperature-wise for today. Upper 40s, low 50s in the valley, still cold in the mountains, mainly in the mid-30s, give or take, which of course helps to support some of that snow. Maybe a tad warmer for places like Weaverville and Hayfork, but mid to upper 40s out along the coast. All right, let's take a look at your 7-day forecast here, and we start with the valley. Now again, I've got that mix in there. The mix is kind of mixed. The mix is mainly for Redding. I don't think we're going to see as much of a mix, if any, for Red Bluff, and the best chances will be in the morning. And again, the same thing on Monday. We may see that morning mix, otherwise mainly in the form of rain. Quite honestly, by the noon hour, by the noon update, I'll probably have this just in the form of showers and not to mention out towards Red Bluff. But showers in Chico, I don't anticipate any mix there or snow. There's that chance for thunderstorms. Showers Tuesday, then that chance continues on Wednesday, but we're kind of transitioning from the wet to drier weather here on Wednesday. But then we do expect drier and warmer conditions by the end of this next week. So we certainly have that to look forward to. Here's your 7-day outlook for the coast, inland, and Weaverville. Thunderstorms today, maybe even some thunderstorms inland, by the way. Weaverville, snow levels, you see how they're starting to slowly increase back up to about 3,000 feet by Tuesday, but dry as we go into Thursday and Friday. Your 7-day outlook for Mount Shasta, Alturas, and Susanville. Also, seeing those snow levels climbing up to about 3,000 feet by Tuesday. That transition on Wednesday with that chance, and then by Thursday, Friday, we dry things out, and then maybe some more showers with snow levels around 3,000 feet by next Saturday.